I may not be a fall baby, but I love this time of year. Autumn in New York is crisp air, cozy sweaters, and warm flavors just make everything feel comforting. I mentioned I'm getting married. Super busy, everybody is in town, and I want to look my best. Healthy eating is the primary focus, and with Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for clean eating, you can do just that. Green Chef makes it easy to spend less time in the kitchen and more time enjoying fall. And with their new Heat and Eat meals, enjoy a delicious, wholesome meal in just 3 minutes. Perfect for supporting your wellness journey, Green Chef recipes feature fresh, organic, seasonal produce and 100% responsibly sourced proteins to help you feel your best. Green Chef's real clean ingredients help you build lasting, healthy habits without the hassle. Enjoy salads ready in just 5 minutes, protein-filled breakfasts, or nutrient-rich smoothies to fuel your day. Green Chef is ready to nurture your nutritional needs. I use this and you should too. I mentioned I'm getting married. Oh my goodness, it is the week of the wedding. Oh my goodness, I mentioned I'm getting married. It's the week of the wedding. Diego and I have been cooking up a storm, but we don't have a lot of time, so we just tried their baked lemon pepper tilapia with feta. It was the perfect nutritional meal to keep us energized. I loved the feta cheese to give it a little bit of extra oomph. It's so delicious. You'll love it as much as we did. Make this fall your healthiest yet with Green Chef. Head to greenchef.com/50tags and use code 50tags to get 50% off your first month, then 20% off for 2 months with free shipping. That's code 50tags at greenchef.com/50tags.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
What is going on? You are listening to Tags Podcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. This is episode 712. I am your host, Stevie V, alongside Jeremy Ross Lopez. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm really well. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Very good. Also joining us, rounding out the equation, is Cody Maurice Doggett. How the hell you doing, Cody?
Hello, darling. I'm doing okay. Healing, you know.
Healing, yes.
Healing.
You had a little procedure, right?
Not one of the good ones, but
okay,
yeah.
But you're healing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's what counts. Okay.
That's right.
Well, let's get into it. And today's talk has to do with something that is a big win for our community. And I'm talking about the U.S. Supreme Court denied a hearing in the Kim Davis Marriage Equality Challenge. So we all know that former county clerk Kim Davis, several years ago, worked in a court office where she provided marriage certificates, and she denied them to married same-sex potential couples. And somebody sued her, and she actually had to serve some time in jail. Well, you would think she would have learned her lesson and left it alone, but she's back. And on Monday, she really wants the Supreme Court to take this issue up. And on Monday, the Supreme Court said they will not hear the appeal of former Kentucky clerk Kim Davis, the one-time county official, like I said, who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples after the landmark 2015 ruling in Obergefell versus Hodges. That name is always so hard for me to say. The petition for a writ of was denied. The justices ordered, by denying review, the court let stand the lower court rulings that found Davis personally liable for violating the unconstitutional rights of same-sex couples. So we start today's show with that good news. And we also start because I just got married, and Diego and I were watching the news today, and that came up, and I couldn't help but think about how beautiful my wedding was. Did you guys have time? A good time, Jeremy?
Yeah, so much fun. It was gorgeous, great vibes, good music, and good energy.
Really good energy, yeah. And Cody, of course, you performed. You had
Mhm.
a great time as well, I trust.
So I was really nervous up until I performed, but you know what? I still had a really, really great time, and I think that's a testament to the event itself, how just full of love it was. So yeah, I had a fantastic time.
Yeah, it was in Long Island for listeners that want to know a little more. And it was a beautiful ceremony. The weather couldn't have been more perfect. And I set an intention that day to be in the moment all day long. And it really did work because I have fond memories. You know, they always say the day of your wedding just goes by like a blur and what just happened. I actually have moments that I actually can recall. And often my sister, my mom, and I, for the last 4 weeks, have just got on the phone and chatted about it. Of course, Diego and I have as well. And it, I was thinking about it when my mother and I walked down the aisle that, oh my God, I'm gonna lose it. But I didn't, I think because I was just so happy. And sometimes you never know what feelings are going to come up. It was a really special day in every way, shape, or form. And the venue that we currently were married at, Diego, who works at that venue, was telling me about a couple the other day that this was just crazy. A younger heterosexual couple were going to get married, and they were fighting 4 hours before the marriage. And they had
What?
170 people waiting for the
Yikes.
crowd, and in the end, the bride called it off.
Oh my
What?
And
gosh.
yeah, and the groom and was just crying, and they all
Oh my
left.
God.
But because I think they paid for the venue, the bride's side, they decided to stay and party. But
Oh my
And
lord.
then the
Wow.
groom's family turned around and came back because they probably figured, why are we not having some fun too?
What?
So I was getting play by play of the minute because I said, you got to keep me updated on this, Diego. And so at one point he texted me and I said, how is it going? He said, well, they're on opposite sides of the dance floor, the groom's side, the bride's side. And I mean, I guess they were making the best of it, but lo and behold, probably alcohol, it got messy. Glasses were
Oh
thrown at
no.
each other.
Oh my
No.
Glasses.
lord.
They had to call the cops, and
That
it
sounds
just
like some housewives bullshit if I've
I
heard.
know, right?
doesn't it? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. So that all leads me to a stat that Teddy and I were talking about the other day that basically said, and then we'll discuss, that a recent research shows that divorce rates look different depending on who you ask. For heterosexual couples, about
Mhm.
42% end in divorce. For get this, for lesbian couples, 72% end in divorce. 70, like why would
Yikes.
you even
Wow.
bother, right? And for gay male
For
couples,
the 30%, that's why you bother.
I
You could be part
guess,
of the talented 30.
there you go. For gay male couples, it's 28%. We have the lowest number of, that end in divorce. And so
That's
we start
wild.
we start today's show with all of that, ba- talking about marriage, why do it, we're calling it the gay marriage paradox, love, freedom, and the modern union. I mean, I say all these stories, and after my wonderful wedding, but then that other awful story, it's just, Jeremy, what do you think about, it is housewife stuff, but what do you think about the stats? Are you surprised by those stats?
No, I think it sounds about right. I heard I was actually going to tell you guys that I was listening to some podcast clips on TikTok, and they said that they just generalized our community as 26% and then heterosexual as 50%.
Yeah.
So it's kind of along those same lines of the
Yeah,
numbers that you
exactly.
said, but except with the lesbian statistics, which is kind of alarming. But I mean, it sounds about right. And it's interesting just because I think us fighting for our rights, or at least to keep the right to be able to get married or stay with that right available to us, is really interesting that we actually end up.
Jeremy?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yeah.
It's actually interesting that we end up in the higher, I meant the lower percentage of divorce rate, comparatively speaking, to heterosexuals.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. You mentioned it took us so long. 2015 is not that long ago that we got
Mm-hmm.
marriage equality for all. And then to have it still in 2025 threatened, again, threatened, it didn't go, they're not going to take it up. That's great
Mm-hmm.
news. But I think for many of us, it wasn't an option. I didn't grow up really thinking about it. And if I did, it was as a child thinking about, well, someday I'll turn straight or I'll like women and I'll just marry a woman. I mean, we didn't have examples to look at. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that's one of the reasons why, is if we're going to do it, we're going to, like, a lot of us, like myself, I'm 54. I got married at 54. So I took a lot of time to sow a lot of wild oats to learn more about myself, what I like, gain a lot more confidence, what I can bring to the table. Where I was asking Diego about this couple, the housewives couple story, that were they young? And he said yes. And so, Cody, when you hear this, some of the stats and, same sex, why we would choose marriage, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, snaps to the Supreme Court. I haven't said that in a long time, but thank
Yeah.
goodness they decided not to hear that. And that's a reason to celebrate for this day. So, as far as the stats, it's like alarming. And I've been trying to wrap my head around why I could think that that would be like our number is so low compared to the other two stats. And for me, something that kind of jumps out is even though like heterosexual couples are just completely normalized, but in the in society and like as far as the male gaze is concerned, lesbian couples are more accepted than gay male couples. So I'm just trying to rationalize this out. So for me, the fact that it makes me feel like women and especially and even lesbians have always felt like they have the option to get married. And like you were saying, Steve, as gay men, I felt personally that that wasn't ever really an option for me until what was it, 2018? Did this past 2015? So
Yeah.
yeah, so I think that we maybe we take it a little bit more seriously. I don't know what the answer is, but it's a very alarming stat that we're looking at right here, and I don't know. I don't know why we're doing it right. I think that we all maybe we are opening up our relationships and we are more sexually liberated, and maybe we
Yeah.
communicate more. There's so many things that could be wrapped up in this. So I'm glad we're doing the right thing. I know when I get married, I want it to last. So yeah.
Yeah. Right. I mean, hopefully that's everyone's intention, and maybe for this couple that it didn't work out, they've saved themselves years and years of a
Yeah.
lot of pain and heartache, and they can just move forward. But
Because do you even know what they were arguing about?
I don't know that I do.
I'm
I don't.
curious.
Yeah, I know. I'll try and get a little more.
Get the
Um,
scoop,
get a
girl.
little more scoop. Yeah, we'll report back. But yeah. So, but even support, like you said, the stats for like lesbians more are a little bit more. They're alarming in many ways,
Mm-hmm.
but lesbian couples are a little bit more. It would seem they would be a little bit more accepted. And even in my own family, I think I may have told the story before, but my aunt, my lovely aunt, she has her daughter-in-law living with her, and it's this daughter-in-law that is very religious, so religious that originally when Kim Davis went to jail, she
Hmm.
supported her, and she took a picture of a letter written to Kim Davis and put it in the mailbox like she was
Oh
Girl.
supporting her,
Lord.
and took a picture of it, posted it on Facebook, tagged my sister,
What?
as if my sister
Nah.
I immediately, obviously, she took it down, my sister, and unfollowed her. But
She
it's
tagged the wrong one.
ironic. Yeah. So when it came time for inviting my aunt, who now the daughter in law lives under that, I had no idea where my aunt stood on the whole thing. And lo and behold, I got a card in the mail yesterday with a gift and showing love for Diego and myself. And
Oh,
how ironic that in the same house for somebody that supports Kim Davis, that my aunt has her own mind and got this invitation and then sent a gift and a beautiful card. I just think the irony of all of it, who
Yeah.
has a tie to Kim Davis in their lives, right?
yeah.
It turns out it was in my own family. And so you don't know how people are going to weigh in on it, but I think we need to give ourselves a little bit more confidence because in the end, I really believe, people want people to be happy. And so moving from that to our why would our number be so low? Well, there's a couple of things navigating sex, openness, and realism. Gay marriage often looks different from a traditional script. Some of us are monogamous, some of us are open, some find balance somewhere in between. Have been known to, we take trips together. Sometimes people take trips with their friends. We're, I think, more open in many ways, and of course, sexually as well. And I mean, Jeremy, do you think that is one of the keys to success? Is not that you necessarily want to be, but an open relationship?
Yeah, I think we always reference back to communication, and
Yeah,
I think that the communication aspect of any relationship is key. Uh, that focuses on just expressing your feelings or expressing how you're feeling to your significant other and keeping them in mind with anything that you choose or decide to do. I think that that is definitely key.
definitely communication. I mean, that's one thing that Diego and I have set a mission to start is to have weekly check-ins with each other. And it could be about sex. It could just be about checking in with how are you doing? And we're going to have these moments every week to it could be lovely, right? A little date, but to really just check in with it. And we can be talking about how's our sex life? What do we want to, what concerns, what do you want to, broaden, or what are you not happy with? And I think that's really healthy. Obviously, we always come back to communication, but what are your thoughts about the open marriage or just sex in a marriage, Cody, is that somewhat of the key to success?
Well, I think it factors into it definitely. I can see. Well, I hope all of these couples, even though like everybody in the study, they're communicating with the partner because I feel like that is the root, that is the foundation that a relationship is built on. So I hope that that's something that everybody is trying to build towards is open communication with their partner. As far as sex is concerned, the thing that kind of factors in for me is I feel like you said earlier, gay men are that generally speaking, they explore a lot more when it comes to their sexuality. So that may be a key factor into why they are less likely to get divorced because they've done the exploring and it's pretty damn hard when they settle down. They know they want to settle down. It's like they don't settle just for whatever is there. And I'm not saying that the other two categories do that, but
Right.
from personal experience and seeing these relationships play out in front of me, I know that lesbians there's the whole U-Haul thing for a reason because
Yeah.
they jump into generally speaking they jump into relationships pretty quickly. And I'm not saying that they're settling. I'm just saying that they tend to get wrapped up in their relationships very quickly and they don't look at the bigger picture. They don't see what's out there. And I think there's something to be said for not taking your time and really getting to know your partner before you actually jump into a full-fledged relationship with them.
Yeah,
I
I
love
would be
that.
interested to know how long the length is of the comparison of relationships versus the time frame of when they end up getting married too. That would be an
Mm.
interesting statistic to know.
Yeah, I mean, the one theory I have maybe on lesbians is the that you mentioned it, the U-Haul, Home Depot, and it seems they maybe meet and a week later they're engaged, and maybe it's just not enough time getting to know the person, and then when they do, they realize I don't even like this person. And so,
I've
you
been there because I think I'm a lesbian on the inside, honestly.
yeah, I mean, and a lot of people don't even want to get married. It's not really important to them. But I don't know. It's an interesting theory to that whole stat to think about. But, so here's to closing this out. Here's to the men who choose love, who choose honesty, and who keep redefining what it means to say forever, because we're still writing this story and it's a good one. So cheers to that. Okay, let us move on to some hot topics. And speaking of defending yourself, singer Khalid, who came out earlier this year, is responding to criticism from fans who say he's become too gay. And he's quoted as saying, "I'm choosing to be true to myself." I like this. I mean, you can't win for losing, right? And
Mm.
he says that he was a recent guest. He says that don't. Um, it's kind of just like, oh, this is performative. And if he wasn't, he would never do this. That's what people are he's thinking that's what people are thinking about him. But I'm doing it now, and that's all that matters to me. I feel like people want me to play the role of this masculine boy. I'm like, just because I show flamboyance doesn't make me less of a man. I'm still a man. I love being a man for what it brings to me, and I'm attracted to men, and I'm able to play with different sides. For me, it was never like, oh, he's going straight to being overtly sexy. I was like, I want to do something that's a version of myself 5 years ago, even 2 years ago. What would have been what would have been way too afraid to do? And he's challenging himself. So I think it's, kudos to him. But Cody, do you think a lot of this backlash for him is from the Black community?
Oh, for sure. I've seen comments personally on his videos and things that he puts on Instagram where they're saying that he's doing too much. They want him to go back to what he was doing before because I think it was really subdued. But also, you know what? And I'm not trying to defend them because I think they're completely wrong because there's so many facets to a human being. But he used to be like really calm and cool, and I don't think that like the jump from him from doing that to being calm and cool and just kind of relaxed and laid back to doing what he's doing now is kind of a leap. And I was jarred a little bit, but I'm here for it. I think
Well,
that
is the music the same? I mean, not the same, but is it? uh, has them, because all I could think about was Nelly Furtado. Where
mhm,
remember those early
I'm
days
like
of
a
the
bird.
yeah, and all that
Yeah,
stuff, and it was like Skater Girl and
it
La
came
La
out
La.
of nowhere.
Yeah, I love that. But then she worked with Timberland, and it was like she was Hoochie Mama, like thumping, and it was like to me that was like a disconnect. It
It's
wasn't
like, where did this come from? Exactly.
kinda no, but that was a look, but it was also music. What do you think about his music? And is it just an image that's different?
I think it's the image mostly because I think that his music is along the same vein. I'm not that familiar with his music, honestly. I know a couple songs, and then I've heard the latest one that he released the visuals in the bathroom. So I think that I mean, it is what it is. It's in the bathroom. But I think that for for him, I think it's the visual that is really kind of jarring. I feel like maybe he could have taken a step in the middle to not jar because like the fan base is going to they're used to one thing. They want you to stay stuck. It's just like life and and having friends out there. They're used to seeing you one way, and sometimes some people are not used to a lot of change, and this was a very big change, but he had a big change in his life, so it's of course it's going to reflect in his music. So I think everybody kind of needs to take a step back and fall back a little bit and meet him where he's at. He's a human being.
He is totally a human being and gets to express himself. So I know you could probably relate to that coming out with your own music and how
Well,
you're
I'm
gonna
coming out hard, okay?
yeah.
I'm coming out all the way.
Which I love. You won't have this transition moment. It'll just be
Yeah,
a, here I
girl.
am, and good for you. I love that. I can't wait for it to come out. Jeremy, when are we going to get over what it means to be a man? What is masculine? And that the beauty, I think, of today is that, like, podcaster, writer Scott Galloway is really challenging straight men in general, that what it really means to be a man isn't about masculinity. When are we going to get over that concept and putting these stereotypes of old masculine stereotypes on people?
I mean, I feel like that is never really going to go away. At least I don't think that there's a time frame, but I do think that society is more comfortable with uh, men in general speaking their feelings and doing certain things like expressing themselves through fashion and not labeling themselves as gay or straight, but just in the middle.
Yeah.
And we see a lot of men just in society today, like on the red carpets and stuff, that are pushing the gender norms as well as like as far as fashion goes. And so I think that it's definitely more accepted and more fluid now than it has been in the past. But I definitely don't think that there's really an end to where people are still always going to judge the level of masculinity that certain people have. And I think that Khallid for himself is a human being like everyone else. And so I think that coming out is one huge monumental step for him, but then also him expressing where he's at in today's society and current day is always going to change and evolve like we all do. And I think that whether that be drastic or not, I think that people need to let him live, and he's going to be what he's going to be. And you ebb and flow, and you lose fans and you gain fans for the new version that you are of yourself. And that's the beauty of being an artist.
Yeah, I
Right.
think people don't like change, dramatic change like that, and it reflects on them. If you're Troye Sivan, he came out also out of the gates with Rush and everything, and he's white too, so maybe that's a
Yeah.
factor in it. But kudos to him. I'm going to check. I haven't listened to the album yet, but I'm going to, because I want to support him. So
Yeah. For one, I am actually more interested in him now than I was before,
yeah, I think he's
honestly.
getting way more publicity now. And
Yeah.
if it has to do with coming out, he's probably really happy and he doesn't have to hide anymore. But to be honest, I think I maybe heard the name a little bit. But
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Support for this podcast is brought to you by Walden University. Ever catch yourself thinking, what if I could go after what I actually want and really make a difference? You're not alone, and that's exactly why I want to tell you about Walden University. For over 50 years, Walden has helped working adults like you get the W, with the knowledge and skills to build the future you want and make a difference where it matters most. If you've been waiting for the right moment, this is it. Head to waldenu.edu and take that first step. Walden University. Set a course for change. Certified to operate by Chev.
it was like in the background. Now he's like front and center. So good for him. He should ride this wave for sure. We all remember Craigslist, right? Or maybe you do. I don't know if you do, Jeremy, but
Yeah, I do.
strictly platonic, men seeking women, men seeking men, missed romance, casual encounters, all of those. Well, recently QueerTea asked people to tell some of their craziest, most memorable Craigslist hookup stories. I'll read a few, then we'll discuss. Someone wrote, at the time, I was recently divorced from a woman and lurking gay forums for life advice until I discovered Craigslist personals. Turns out there's quite a few former heteros looking to hook up. I met this man in his 50s. It was raining and we went in front of a bar, but decided to go somewhere in his car. Next thing I know, we're in a hotel room and I'm smelling the most delicious perfume of him. Terre by Hermes, and this buttoned up guy is going down on me in a super small shower. He's still with his wife, so I stopped hooking up with him, but he helped me understand that I do love men. Says Alexis in Montreal. Somebody else wrote the guy wanted to hook up but did not have a picture. He was 33 and had just ended a 13-year relationship. So I was wary. I gave him my email address, and one morning he messaged me that he was attending a business meeting across the street from where I lived. Could he stop by for a minute and meet? And if I liked him, we could get together that night. I agreed. About an hour later, he knocked on the door. When I opened it, I about fell over. He was ripped. You could literally see a six-pack of abs through his tight shirt, and he was hot as hell. He told me he was having dinner with his mother that night and would be at my place around 9. At 8:45, he called apologizing that he was running late and arrived at 9:30. It was one of the absolute hottest hookups ever. It was the first time in my life that I basically had nonstop sex for 8 hours, wrote
Yes.
Michael in Miami. And there's more of those
Yikes.
crazy stories. I will just share, I used it. I don't know that I have any like, oh my God. I had a few that turned out to be pretty hot in LA. I did use it when I first moved to New York a million years ago to make some extra money. I would do like naked yoga, and I would do it in my
Oh.
apartment. And there was one guy that would come over, and somehow in naked yoga, we got on each other's mat. And I got to tell
Somehow.
you, like adjusting somebody who's naked, who's pretty hot. He was like this corporate Italian guy, and then being sweaty, but in a good way, because you could tell we were both showered, but we're sweating from the yoga, and just slithering around on a yoga mat was super hot. Plus, I got paid for it too. So, I mean, there's a name for that, but I enjoyed it. I used it on Craigslist, and it was super fun. And I have a few more stories like that. But Jeremy, did you use it? Did you have success? Did you have any hot stories? What was your experience on Craigslist?
I would say one of the best is probably when I answered a like rimming party ad
Oh,
on there.
wow.
So it was
Yes.
solely like it was only that. So in the like rules and the gist of everything was pretty much like they were vetting each person, like body pictures, face pictures, ass, all of that, and then it strictly said like it was only for rimming, and it was like just an intimate smattering of people, and it was like no anal whatsoever. It was only that. So that was something that was probably the hottest story that I have from there specifically, and that was at a hotel in Hell's Kitchen, and that was a long time ago. It's just definitely one of like the memorable things that I remember from
I love
Craigslist.
how specific that is. And
Amazing.
yeah, that's amazing. And I felt like back in the day with Craigslist, maybe now Sniffies, you could kind of do it as well. But the ads that people posted or what they were looking for, you looked on your laptop, your computer, and there was just a lot of space to really write out what you were looking for, be specific as just you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just scrolling through it and really taking time to read each one and getting turned on just by reading what people were looking for. It was really hot. Sometimes there's pictures, and I feel it wasn't, the app experience is a different one. I've mentioned before, I never really got into the app world much at all. If anyone, it would be Sniffies, I suppose. But Cody, any hot stories from the Craigslist era? I mean, it's still there. It's just we don't have those hookups.
The personals, yeah, they're
Yeah.
gone. I just checked to see if they
Okay,
were
good.
still there. But no, honestly, the most I've ever done on Craigslist was the missed encounters type deal, and I posted a couple of missed
Oh,
encounters, but
did it work out?
I never got a hit. I've only did it like 2 or 3 times, honestly, but I never got a hit. So I feel like I missed out on an era, but I'm making up for it with Sniffies because you can definitely have those experiences that you guys talked about on Sniffies. So I got to make up for lost time now, but we should bring it back, okay?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely bring it back for sure. Oh my gosh. We have to move on, but this is kind of exciting. Puerto Vallarta, where I was just at, is going to host its, well, this is interesting because it said it's going to host its first collab week for spicy content creators and their fans. It sounds like just what it is. It'll be December 2nd through the 8th. And the reason why I say maybe they're not counting last year's, because last year, Jet of Jet's Adventures, shout out to Jet, he's been on our show, who does naked beach tours and all kinds of stuff. You can look it up. But he worked with, at the time, Austin Wolf, and they did Collab Week in Puerto Vallarta. But maybe we don't want to draw inference like that didn't really count,
I was
because
gonna say he's not gonna be there this
you know
time.
what I mean? Yeah, so we're just acting like that didn't happen.
Sorry.
Thank goodness Jet is a part of this one, because there's different organizers, and there is something similar Just for Fans does, because when I had my page on Just for Fans, they do a once a year event I couldn't make it, but it's not always accessible to everybody, and so this will be really kind of cool. They're also going to be including fans too, so they're all going to meet at the hotel, the Almar, which is a really cool gay hotel, with filming sessions for the creators will take place at Mantamar. Mantamar is the pool club below Almar. They owned by the hotel.
Isn't that the one where they saw the sex at the glass
Yes,
pool? Yeah.
It's like a hot tub that's raised up, and it's clear, right?
Mhm.
And people were having sex inside there, so it makes sense, right?
Mhm.
Other places that will host events will be at Industry Nightclub. I was just there, super fun. Spartacus Bathhouse and Jet's Naked Boat Tours. I think this is really a great idea, because as I have produced this kind of content before, it's really hard to always find people to work with, and people, this is just going to, you're going to be there all weekend. People, they're going to get a lot of content. But what I really like about this, Jeremy, too, is they're opening it up to the fans. They'll be able to attend certain events, meet a lot of these people. What do you think about this event, Collab Week?
I definitely think it sounds like fun and exciting, but it does sound like a normal weekend in Puerto Vallarta at the same time. Just from, I'm not sounding like a hater, but just from the sounds of everything I've heard about experiences there, it sounds like similar to, but less organized than what this will be. So obviously not a designated hotel and designated like personal events to attend for the fans and stuff. And obviously if you have certain creators that you followed or that you really want to meet in person, then that part of it's super exciting. But it does sound like just a run-of-the-mill regular time that you would have visiting that specific place. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, well, I want you to come visit sometime, because first off, Puerto Vallarta is huge, and like where my sister's located, you can really make it what you want. You could immerse yourself in all, and you are correct. All of that happens, and it's a party galore. But you can also chill and not be a part of it, which is kind of nice. But Cody, what are your thoughts on Collab Week this year? The first, apparently.
I love it. Let's go. I think that this is a great idea. It's a good way for people to get their brand out there, to really, because you were saying before that collabing is one of the most difficult things to do. So if you want to become a content creator, you really want to get your name out there, this is the way that you get in there and you get those collabs, that you get to do this. So, and the fact that they're really opening it up to the fans as well, I think that's a tremendous idea. I feel like there may be like one or two instances where maybe the Gay VN Awards, where all of these creators get together and they can interact with their fans. But I think that one more is definitely not going to hurt. And what better place to do it than Puerto Vallarta? It's just beautiful. I think that so much content could be explored and created there. And I think that I want to go. I want to see
Yeah,
what it could be, what it could become, basically.
I think it's a great idea, and it's normalizing content creators, which is which we should be doing as well. And even myself, I ran into Jet of Jet's Adventures recently in Mexico, and I said, "Oh, I'm working with some of these models for a new campaign they were shooting," and I was saying, "Oh yeah, these guys, they're on OnlyFans." He's like, "You mean content creators?" And I was like, I mean content creators. So even, I need to get into this lingo and give them the credit that they do. I think this is a great idea. And what better backdrop than Puerto Vallarta? Okay, moving on. I think I sent you the video. I'm not sure if you had a chance to see it, but David Archuleta is really giving some Dom Top energy and a new Archer. We had the head of Archer come on our show when it first launched. It's a gay dating app. And in it, did you guys see it?
Yes,
I
I
watched
did.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's giving Miranda Priestley
Oh my
walking
god, I
into
would totally thought the same exact thing because the headline says Dom Top energy, and I'm like, I think I see more Devil Wears Prada than Dom Top here.
Dom lesbian energy.
Yeah, it's as if he's walking into the office and everyone's like dropping everything, and he looks really fierce in it, in this
Yeah.
really fashion outfit. But he even says things like references to sliding into Archer offices and in basically a Devil Wears Prada chief trophy officer, they're calling it. He criticizes dating apps that allow blank profiles, saying, "What is this, 2009?" and sings the praises of Archer's new trophy system. And I kind of like this. It caught my attention. I remember going to the launch party of Archer. I remember having the person, I think you were with me, Cody, when we welcomed them, about this app is really about dating. What do you think about it, Cody?
Yeah, I think this is great. I think this is an interesting fit for him. Remember we were talking about with Khallid that it was kind of a jump. I feel like this is a jump from David Archuleta's normal persona that he uh, gives to the world. I think that he is normally kind of the boy next door-ish type deal, and this is his Dom Top era, which it feels a little forced, but he's still really cute. I think that he was just having a good time, and I could take it in stride. I think that this is a good fit for him, and he is doing the damn thing. I'm here for it.
I think it looks great, and I feel like, yes, Jeremy, he's creme brulee singer and just, la la la. But I think, he's an actor too, and when you're an actor type, you can do all kinds of things. What do you think of this ad, and do you like it?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's fun. I like the fashion aspect of it. And I think he's in his prime right now. Ever since he came out, I feel like his just the spotlight on him has been a lot more than it was ever before.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, well, we love giving advice on this show. Today is no different. This one comes from Reddit asking the question of terms. So we were just talking about marriage earlier and not everybody wants to get married. Some are just in lasting relationships. And they're asking this question, partner, boyfriend, husband. I was reading another post recently, they say, in which someone referred to their partner, a person they had been casually dating for only several months. My first thought was, why is this person calling their boyfriend their partner? I realize that people can use whatever words they want, and some people prefer partner as a gender neutral term, but I was wondering if most of us still agree that partner is not a word that's typically used for a boyfriend. I have seen it happen in person before as the term partner has become popularized even among straight people, and I just have to laugh, to be honest, especially when it's a guy or girl referring to their boyfriend. Personally, when I was married, I never used the word partner and preferred husband because partner felt outdated to a time when men couldn't marry each other, and I wanted people to know I was married to a man. In my mind, a partner is a long-term committed companion or gender-neutral way to refer to a husband. A husband is a legal partner that implies marriage, and boyfriend is steady but casual romantic companion. Thoughts? I think this guy's getting too caught up in all this. I mean, the only thing that I never really liked back, I remember this makes me think about this is years ago, I worked at Todd Tramp's gym, and it was in LA on La Cienega Boulevard, and it was a trainer gym when trainer gyms weren't even a thing. And the owner, Todd Tramp, which is you can't make that
Love it.
name up, right?
Best
Yeah.
name ever.
He had a huge, big personality. He drove a Hummer. You knew when he came into the gym, it was just like, oh, here we go. And every time, and it was almost monthly, he had a new partner, and he would introduce them as my better half. Oh, meet my better half, meet my better half.
Oh.
And I was always so cringed out by that because it just seemed like, what? Like you needed this person, and there was a new better half, like every other month. It was crazy. So that's the only thing I get. I think partner to me, is this guy, Jeremy, getting too caught up in this, or do you agree with him?
I think he's getting a little too caught up in it. I think when I have used partner before, but it's more like in a professional setting. If I'm uh explaining referencing my boyfriend to someone that doesn't know him, and it's not someone that I'm close with, so whether it be like, say for example, in an interview or at a job that I'm at, I do sometimes say partner, just because I'd like to generalize rather than saying boyfriend.
Hmm.
And then people that I'm more comfortable with or know better, I will say boyfriend. But I mean, I don't think about it too much. Like, say they asked if it was a uh, male or female, obviously, then I would be totally fine with saying that it's a guy. So I think he's kind of thinking a lot into it. And I don't think it's really only an old guard way of expressing your relationship.
Yeah. There, you know, this is an interesting, because there was another Reddit, Cody, that wrote, how many rounds of dating did it take before you and your partner officially got into a relationship? And they referred to it as partner. I know. I can think of, I mean, partner doesn't bother me because it means something more established. You're checking in with them. Words, if we're just going to look at words in general, words have different meanings at
Yeah.
times. I mean, partner can be a business partner, it could be, and I think if you clarify that, what do you think of, is this guy getting too caught up in all these terms?
Yeah, definitely. Because at the end of the day, you get to decide how you identify it in your relationship. So I think at the, like, come what may, like, you have to let it go and not analyze it too much, except for in your own relationship. You get to decide. You talk to your partner, your boyfriend, your husband, whoever it is. I am a boyfriend to death. I will you are my boyfriend until we get married, basically. I feel like partner for me is something that you say when you are in maybe an unsafe or a a space where you feel like you can be judged, or you feel like it is not something, it's not very gay friendly. So you say partner as to kind of make sure that people are not don't get on to you and they don't sniff you out, basically, as a homosexual or a
Yeah.
person of LGBTQ plus experience. So yeah, so I feel like I understand where he's coming from, but don't take it too serious. It's not that
Yeah.
serious.
I agree. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on something. I was talking to my sister, and she was telling me how, she's met people on the apps. Maybe they went on a date, and then somehow, not that they ghosted, but she never heard back from them. And then lo and behold, she'll get a Merry Christmas a message or something during the holidays. And I was like, is that a thing? She's like, oh, yeah. She's like, people, I said, why, if you hadn't heard from somebody for so long, why would somebody come back during the holidays? And her theory was, and I want to hear what you guys think, is that during the holidays, people have different thoughts. Many people are very sentimental. And they're going through, maybe they're not working as much because they have a little time off, and they're going through their quote unquote Rolodex, right? And they're like, oh, whatever happened to this one? It's like, well, you didn't call them back, but they reach out because of a loneliness. And I said, I hope you don't respond back. She says, hell no. But if you, Jeremy, had went out with somebody and tried to get on a second, third, but they were just MIA and didn't seem any interested, but then came around and said, hey, Jeremy, Merry Christmas, would you respond and give them a chance?
No, not at all. I mean, the holidays has nothing to do with that, and I feel like it's completely separate. And I'm sorry if you're feeling lonely, but it doesn't warrant a response, in my opinion.
I agree. I was saying the same thing too. Holidays are for messages between my dear close friends and family.
Oh,
That's who I want to hear from,
yeah.
not some tired old piece of toast that's coming out of the blue. No, thank you. And what would that say about me if I responded? It would.
Oh no,
I
you're
don't
not
like
gonna
the.
like my take.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Let's hear it.
Yeah, no, I would respond, honestly.
What?
You know why? Because for me, it wouldn't be me trying to get back with them or even like trying to reconnect with them. Maybe one person, but it would be about me just going over there and having some fun and then leaving. So
Yeah.
I would respond. It would just be for fun. It wouldn't be in order to reconnect.
But I'm
Okay.
also
Interesting.
I feel like I said my answer just because I feel like I'm definitely one of those people that if it didn't work out, it's not going to work out. Like I don't
Yeah.
revisit old relationships ever. I think if it's not if it didn't work back in the day and then they're trying to like rekindle it or missing it or whatever, I just don't see fate for it to be something that it wasn't before. Like it's going to go back to what it was.
I mean, all we have to do is look at your girl J Lo and
Right.
Ooh, and
round
Ben
two.
Affleck. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
see it.
I'm totally of that theory too. And the one time I did try, it was somebody that I knew in San Francisco in the 90s, and then all these years later, we started to reconnect again. And yeah, it was nice. We were older and different, but it was also it just didn't work. And ultimately, and I should have known better, right? Even though all these years had passed. But
Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna push back just a little bit because you never know, and I feel like it has worked for certain people, and I know those people might be few and far between, but it has worked. And me personally, I know in an instance, I know an instance where I would probably regret not seeing what it could turn into. So I don't know.
It's a
It's
lot of factors though, because I
yeah,
think in general, you realize if it didn't work then, and let's just say they changed. But you also have to realize that you're not the same person you were then. So
exactly.
now you're bringing these two different, it's still you, but you're still bringing these two different personas and timing. I don't know. It's a big leap, but
Yeah.
kudos to people that can make it work the second time around. But yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh. Could do this all night. Love talking about all of this. You can always follow my co host on the gram. Follow Jeremy on Instagram at jrosslopez. Follow Cody on Blue Sky and on Instagram at Mr. Maurice. Follow me on the gram. I am _Steve V. And in the meantime, continue having hot,
Hot
gay
gay
sex. Lovely.
Hi, friends. We are Dads and Daddies, a podcast about the lives and times of adult gay men in the here and now. I'm Brian Rubin Sowers, a married dad of 2.
And I am Judson Morrow, a resident daddy. Join us for frank conversations and personal stories of sex, love, relationships, parenthood, daddyhood, addiction, and so much more.
Find us on Instagram at Dads and Daddies Pod and listen to new episodes every Tuesday on all major platforms.